note the comments made by some members that the Capitol Police had broken into Congressman Nell's office. This allegation, there's nothing more serious than an allegation like that. Any member of Congress would be very concerned. I should note for the record, the police chief has denied it. And I want to reassure myself, Mr. Bolton, that you're investigating this so we can make sure that we know the truth of what happened. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. And we will look forward to that report. In terms of the insider threat program that's been mentioned, in January, the House Sergeant at Arms testified before the Ledge Branch Committee on Appropriations that the insider threat program was really for the House Sergeant at Arms office, not for congressional community at large, not members or but I understand you're taking a look at this as well. Is that correct, Mr. Bolton?
Not as a relation to the House Sergeant of Arms. Our focus is on the open source issue of utilizing any type of data banks or the like of those things, but nothing as far as not with this, the House Sergeant of Arms and his insider threat program, which would be for his staff only.
All right. We will look forward to that report as well. I just wanted to note, in terms of the House buildings being open, one of the issues that we have not mentioned, which is the pandemic. And throughout this entire pandemic, the House has 100% followed the guidance of the attending physician. And we continue to do so today. And that is an important element of what is going on here. Now, I have just a couple of quick questions, if I may. Mr. Bolton, you've made a number of recommendations and you've done good. You and your team have done good work, absolutely. But not all of them have been implemented. And my question for you is, I'm sure you're talking to the chief, doing assessments on where they are and the like. Have these recommendations not been accomplished because the chief disagrees with them, because they don't have resources, or because they just haven't gotten them done yet? What's your judgment?
I think it's a variety of reasons. Some are obviously, some of our recommendations do require additional resources, whether it be manpower or additional appropriated funds. So there is those are what I would classify as the long-term recommendations. There are a few recommendations that I think the chief and I are in discussions that he may not totally agree upon. We continue. We have met twice since early this year. So we continue to go through a dialogue. So we have an open dialogue and to work through those recommendations that they either have questions about or not quite fully understanding where we're trying to get to. So there's a variety of reasons for that, but they are at least working towards getting those recommendations closed.
Okay. Now, the department has stated publicly that it has changed the way it processes intelligence. And for example, they've grown their intelligence staff from 14 to 32. They now require all staff to get and maintain top secret clearance. They've implemented new performance standards for intelligence analysts, new training, reorganized the command structure, addressed increased threats to members by additional protection at off-site sites where members are frequently present during sessions. On the other hand, they have yet to fill the Intelligence and Interagency Coordination Division Director's position with qualified individuals. You say that we have 34 recommendations outlining deficiencies. How do those recommendations relate to what they've already accomplished?
Some, like I said, some of the recommendations that we did make is that hiring additional analysts, getting those analysts trained and continuous training. They have implemented that. They have put those They have updated their policies and procedures. I agree with you. I'm hoping that they do hire a director here soon. One of our recommendations was, it hasn't been implemented, was moving intelligence into a division level as opposed to the current bureau level. We want to see it as a standalone within the department and elevate it to a higher level than what it is currently now.
Okay. You know, Mr. Bolton and Mr. Schumer, I really appreciate your testimony today. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this hearing, we are going to keep this record open so that members may have additional questions. They're going to direct them to you. And we would ask that in that case, you give us your answers as soon as you possibly can. I would note, Mr. Schuman, that it's been helpful to get your testimony. We've thought a lot about how to structure governance of the Capitol Police. We've had our GAO report, but obviously it takes consensus between the House and Senate. Um, you know, I think the board structure it's been in place quite some time. It was intended to prevent, the politicization of a Capitol Police, which is, an admirable goal, and yet has resulted in something that is not particularly accountable to the public. So your thoughts and comments are greatly appreciated, as is our Inspector General, who's always welcome here. I would like to thank the witnesses, and well, as I say, we will keep the hearing record open. And as we have all had a chance to ask our questions,